Guys, my name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. I wanted to give you guys an update on the stimulus checks. A lot of you have been asking me about the stimulus package and how the stimulus deal is going. You know what? I hate to tell you this, but it looks like that's pretty much dead. The hopes of a stimulus package are as good as gone. And it looks like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is not going to be able to make a deal with Steve Mnuchin, who's the Treasury Secretary. From what I've been reading, the stimulus negotiations just have gotten messy. Each side, these politicians, unfortunately, they don't really care if the economy goes to hell in a handbasket. They just pretty much are I don't know, I guess hoping that you'll blame the other side. I think that's kind of what they want. And they don't really care what the damage is. But in case you were wondering, the stimulus package, they've been talking about $2 trillion coming through. And the money was mostly going to go toward unemployment insurance, PPP loans, testing, lots of testing, vaccine distribution whenever the vaccine comes out, and education, just the cost of education and keeping kids in school. Well, all that's kind of dead. We've kind of hit that deadline, and it's the craziest time because the stock market just crashed. I mean, it went down. Last time I checked, let me check a browser here and see where the stock market is right now. I want to say it was down over 1,000 points. Let me see here. The Dow right now, today it went down to 780 points. So today was a bad day for the stock market. A lot of it's really interesting because this is kind of the worst time for them to be incompetent. Honestly, this is really the worst time for them to be incompetent because, you kind of have like a perfect storm in a way, right? The stock market just plummeted because you have a record number of new cases of the virus, right? And then on top of that, you have not just what the cases are doing, but you actually have the fear that's created because everybody's now afraid of a shutdown. And the way the stock market works is the stock market tends to work based on expectations. Expectations are everything when it comes to the stock market. So effectively, when the cases rise, they talk about the toll that the cases are going to have on the medical system, which is absolutely true. It is going to have a heck of an impact. That's not really what's causing the market to crash. What's causing the market to crash is just knowing that the cases have gone up. And what occurs is people are thinking, oh my God, there's going to be a shutdown. Well, if there's a shutdown, that means less economic activity. Less economic activity means, boom, a drop in stock prices. Because based on how stocks are priced, with the way the equations work for a stock price, when you have lower revenue and higher risk, that's when you're in trouble. Like when you have lower revenue and higher risk, that's when you're in trouble in terms of stock prices. So the reason you saw this big drop was as the cases rose up, fear kind of spread, and it's global. It's a global thing. When I was in my doctoral program, I worked with a guy. My dissertation chair was a guy named Andrew Caroli, Karolyi. He's at Cornell now, I believe. And one of the things that he studied extensively was what they call global contagion. So the same way they talk about the coronavirus spreading from one person to another. Well, there's kind of an economic version of the coronavirus where when one economy goes south, it can cause the economy next to it to go south, and next to that, and next to that, and next to that. And next thing you know, the U.S. market has plummeted because of something that happened in Greece. And you would think Greece is not a big country. Greece is across the world. How can Greece affect or infect the American market? Well, it's because of economic contagion. It's because of the financial version of the coronavirus. So effectively, what you're seeing right now is kind of a global phenomenon where a lot of countries are fighting through the fear of this pandemic. A lot of countries are worried about, all these shutdowns that are pending. A lot of countries are dealing with the same thing at the same time. And that's kind of the recipe of, for an economic disaster like this. Now, what am I thinking? Here's what I'm thinking. Number one, I think that in terms of this, the stimulus check, I really wish Congress could kind of get it together and do something. I know they're going to do something, right? We know that a stimulus is eventually coming. It may not be in the form of a check, though. That's the thing. They may not actually write a check to you. But what they are going to do is most likely at some point, they are going to do something on the stimulus front. It'll probably be all those things I mentioned before through the unemployment insurance, the PPP loans for businesses, more testing, vaccine distribution, education. But that doesn't help the American worker. So to some extent, the American worker will probably still be screwed. And so what I'm really thinking, honestly, here is maybe if you're able to do it, if you can stomach it, I would look at the data, right? I would look at the data and I would, kind of consider the fact that your odds of catching and dying from the virus are not that high. It can actually happen, but it's not that high. And I've talked about this before, and I have to be careful about it because I think I hurt some people's feelings when I give them information instead of just getting scared like everybody else. I'm really more into helping you solve your problem. And so there is an economy out there. That's my point. There is an economy out there. There are companies that are hiring. A lot of the economy has become digital. So what's happened with investors, and the reason I know you're going to be fine if you're an investor, is because, number one, the economy's moved digital. So when the crash occurred, a lot of investors just went to, these stay-at-home stocks or whatever and made a ton of money. They made a killing. Now that Congress hasn't been moving and the economy is going to go a little bit south, there are people that are going to look for these solid companies that are still going to have solid revenues. They had a dip in price. They're going to be able to buy those. You can find those companies. They're out there, right? And then here's the kicker. Here's the beautiful part. We know that a stimulus is coming. We know that after the election's over, but Biden's probably going to win. If Biden wins, then you win. If Trump wins, then you win. Why is that? Well, because Trump has always taken care of the stock market, mostly through lower tax rates and things like that. Biden is going to take care of the stock market with a massive, massive stimulus. Hopefully, that's what they're going to push for. Number two, they're going to push for crazy amounts of infrastructure spending. I mean, just trillions and trillions of dollars of spending on, green energy and, whatever stuff the liberals believe in, right? I don't get into liberal conservative crap. I'm not into that. I'm just into seeing you succeed and make money, right? So I would just say at the end of the day, what's driving a lot of this decline right now is really fear. And by the government not delivering for the American people, they've only added to the fear. So let's go through the precipitation of events. Corona cases go up. That creates fear of a shutdown, which causes prices to go down. Then Nancy Pelosi comes out pretending like she's trying to make a deal when she really isn't. She wants you to suffer so that she can get Biden into office. But maybe they're going to do something after the election. I have no idea. So basically, you hit this deadline point where not only are you not going to get a stimulus deal done before the election, but after the election, if Trump goes out of office, you have what they call the lame duck period, where you have all these people there on Capitol Hill who know they've been replaced. So they don't give a damn. They're not going to really, want to do extra sessions to make sure they do something for the American people. They don't care. These are selfish people. So if a deal goes through, you're talking February, right? What are you going to do with that? Like, what do you do with, February? My God, it's October 26th. February is so far away. So what I think you have to consider is looking at the economy as it is and knowing that there are opportunities out there, but it won't be like it was before. I don't even know how they're planning to really control the virus if they're not even writing a stimulus package that's going to actually fund, testing and vaccinations and in education, all that stuff. What are these people thinking? I don't understand. I don't get it. That's the part of the equation I cannot solve. But those two whammies, and these have been the two biggest driving factors of the market for the last several months is, new cases, stimulus, new cases, stimulus against new cases like Mike Tyson against Evander Holyfield. And now new cases are going high. Stimulus dropped out of the fight. Now new cases is going to dominate. That means more fear, right? So to some extent, I don't know if this virus, I've seen theories. I watch all the news. I watch, I look at what CNN, MSNBC say. I look at Fox. I look at the reliable outlets, the NBC, ABC. I look at C-SPAN and I read data on the internet. And I've heard people, make conjectures like, well, maybe the Chinese, did this on purpose to disrupt the U.S. economy. And that wouldn't surprise me at all because they want the United States government to suffer. They want you to suffer. And the way you suffer is you hit them where it hurts. You hit the economy. That's why they bombed in 9/11. That's why they blew up the World Trade Center. They wanted to, strike a mighty blow at the center of U.S. economic power. So the virus, whether it's intentional or not, what it's become is kind of this terrorist. And the way a terrorist operates is a terrorist doesn't have to kill everybody. The terrorist kills a small percentage, like 1% of 1%. But then it scares the hell out of the other 99.9% and makes them think, oh my God, I could be next. I could be next, right? Again, because you hear that number, 200,000 people have died, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. We don't want anybody to die. But 40% of those people are in nursing homes, right? That's one thing you should know. Most of them are very old. Even Herman Cain, the one prominent Republican who died, was a 74-year-old cancer survivor. One thing I know about surviving cancer, my father survived cancer, is that after you survive cancer, in many cases, your immune system is very, very weak. So Herman shouldn't have been at that rally without a mask on. I don't know why he would do that. That doesn't make any sense. My dad, he wears his mask. I wear my mask. We protect each other. But, whatever. So if you're dealing with facts, right, what you're dealing with is a virus that kills, 1/10 of 1% of the population. And the other 99.9%, though, don't have jobs, right, or are struggling economically, or at the very least are enveloped in a cloud of fear. The cloud of fear is one of the number one factors that will destroy a financial market in a second. Stock markets will decline quickly just on artificial fear, even if nothing's actually happened. Even if there's just a fear, somebody could say something. They could say boo, like bad things are going to happen, boo, and the whole market will crash just on somebody saying boo. So my philosophy as an investor is I don't respond when somebody says boo. When somebody says boo, or they say the world's coming to an end, or Chicken Little comes in and says, oh my God, the sky's falling, you're all going to die, I'm the guy that will go in and say, really, the sky's falling? So what does that look like when the sky falls? I didn't know a sky could actually fall. So show me exactly where the sky's falling and where's it going to land. When it lands, is it going to land on my head or is it going to land over across town? Because I need to know that so we can know exactly what we're working with. And in this case, a lot of what you're seeing in terms of what's killing the economy, some of it's real, but I don't see a lot of it as being very permanent. And I think that's the idea, right? And so the companies that I pick, and actually feel free if you want to join the Black Stock Market Program. I'll give you the URL right here on the screen, the blackstockmarketprogram.com. I show my students what I'm picking, and the kinds of stocks I pick is I look for companies that are showing an ability to pivot in response to whatever crisis is in front of them, right? So right now, when you're seeing what's going on with the virus, there's a bull market somewhere. There's somewhere in there in the economy where money is being made. Companies like Microsoft or Apple to some extent, Apple's in trouble right now because of the antitrust stuff. But there are some of these companies that just know how to make money. They just know how to get in and fit in and find it and figure it out. And those are the companies you look for, the companies that know how to pivot. Like I always love Disney because Disney's really good at pivoting, but Disney's got to do a hell of a lot of pivots because Disney's surrounded in the sense that a lot of their top revenue streams have been absolutely slaughtered. So they're pivoting over to digital. I don't know if that's going to save them in the short term, but I do believe in Disney management in the long term. So that's why I'm a long-term investor in Disney. Okay. So it's not the end of the world. In fact, I think investors are in the best position to do well, even when the rest of the world is not doing well. So if you're not an investor yet, I hope you'll consider it. I hope you'll get started. There's a URL, firstsharestock.com. You can go there, get started. There's a free training I give you. It takes 10 minutes to watch. You watch this video, you'll be all ready to go. And you'll also get free information from the Black Business School. We give a lot of things away for free. So feel free to check it out. Also, before I head out, don't forget that tonight we're doing our Black Business Pitch Competition. We support Black businesses by giving them free advertising and letting them pitch in front of the Black community. They answer to you. And then after they do their pitch, we give them 90 seconds to pitch their business. And after they pitch their business, we give them feedback directly. And then also Lene Javette, Lene hosts a show with me. And also the audience gives them feedback. And some of the audience members actually go buy their products. So if you want to watch it, it's called Life's a Pitch. So feel free to join us. Tonight it's going to be on financialjuneteenth.tv.com. That's one of our financial platforms. So feel free to go to financialjuneteenth.tv.com and subscribe, or text the word Boyce to 31996. That's 31996. I wish I could put it up, Red Z. I can't put it on that Instagram screen because you're on my phone and my thumbs are big. And if I start typing it in there, I'm going to type it wrong. But if you want to watch this video, just go to theblackfinancialchannel.com, theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's where the video is loaded, and you can actually see it, everything on the screen. So I hope this is helpful to you. Don't get your hopes up for a stimulus. Find another way to get by. And there are online businesses, or maybe this is a good opportunity to pivot. Maybe some adjustments will have to be made. I'm not even here to pretend like I can even tell all of you exactly what to do, because some of you may be dealing with some challenges. And my heart goes out to you, and I want to help as much as I can. And my number one goal is to not be some guy who's not, who's doing okay financially, who's telling people who are struggling what to do. Like one thing that bothers me, drives me crazy, is I hate watching these celebrities tell everybody to stay home or whatever when they've got $10 million in the bank so they can stay home forever. But I know people who got to go to work. I know people who are like, you know what, I'll take a 0.1% chance that I might catch a virus and die. I need to go out and feed my kids. So whatever you got to do, my belief, honestly, is at the end of the day, you can't trust these damn politicians. You got to do what you got to do. And I think that's probably the best piece of so-called advice I could give you, is do what's best for you, man. Seriously, at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. All right, I got to go, guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to go see my parents. So have a good day. I'll see you soon, and see you guys tonight on Life's a Pitch. It's going to be really fun. You guys are going to really like the show, and I hope you'll support the Black-owned businesses. If we don't support our own, then who will? Right? Who supports Black-owned businesses other than Black people? So when Black people give up on Black-owned businesses, then Black-owned businesses have nothing. So let's not give up on our businesses. That's why we created the show. We want to give them some free advertising, let the world know about them. And we do this every week, every Monday at 8 o'clock. So I hope that you'll join us and in supporting these companies. So the URL is right there on the screen, financialjuneteenth.tv.com. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Peace.